guys, it's teacher Krista in Las Vegas, and today I just wanted to make a real quick video about money. What does VIPKid pay? We need to know, well, you need to know if you're considering applying. Very important. And if you've seen any of the ads that are out there on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere else on the internet, usually it says $14 to $22 per hour. And that can be, in my opinion, a bit vague. I mean, what does it mean? 14 to 22? Well, that's a pretty big gap. So today I'm going to break it down for you guys. Okay, the very first thing we need to talk about when it comes to pay is what's called your base rate or your base pay. Your base rate is determined, to my understanding, by two different factors. Number one is your teaching experience. So, for example, someone like myself who only taught for 2 years in the brick and mortar classroom, I'm not going to make as much or have as high of a base rate as someone who would have maybe taught for 10, 15, 20 years in the classroom. I don't mind sharing my base rate because my goal with these YouTube videos is to help you guys understand everything. And I like to be transparent. That's the truth. My base rate is $7.50. Now, keep in mind, if you stay with the company, they do have a system for which they give you raises as you get your second and third and fourth contracts, but I will talk about that at a later date. Okay, the second thing that's going to go into determining your base rate is how well you perform during your mock class. Now, this is why it's super important to prepare and really give that mock class all you've got, because that's going to be a factor when they determine what your base rate's going to be. Okay, so your base rate is really the big one. That's going to be the bulk of your pay. But after that, we have what's called the participation incentive. So what this means is if you just show up to classes on time and do your job, you get an extra dollar. Personally, I don't really understand why they have this. Maybe just a way to penalize teachers who show up late. I'm not sure. But this extra dollar is pretty much automatic. If you show up and you do the job, you get the extra dollar. In my opinion, the pay structure of VIPKid can be a little confusing. There's a lot of moving parts, and really, I mean, if you're thinking about doing this job, if it were me again in the past, I would just want to know, what's the pay? I don't need this incentive and that incentive and this and that blah 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 bonus. It's too much. What's the pay? What's the average hourly rate that I will make? That way I can determine if it's worth it. Okay, number 3, we have what's called the finished classes incentive. What this means is if you teach over 45 classes in the month, you automatically get an extra dollar. So you might be thinking, okay, does that kick in as soon as I hit 45? Then I start getting an extra dollar per class? No, it's actually retroactive. So as soon as you hit that 45, you will automatically see an additional $45 pop onto your payment. It will go back and give you the extra dollar for every class that you've done that month. And then it will continue giving you that extra dollar until the end of the month. Now, in my opinion, if you're going to do VIPKid, you really want to make sure you're doing at least 45 classes a month. Because it will affect your pay. And to be honest, this is not hard. It's 45 classes. So let's do some calculations. Let's say that you were like me when I started VIPKid and I had my full-time teaching job. And let's say you taught 3 classes every morning before you went to work. Don't mind my nails, they're kind of messed up. Okay, let's say you did that 5 days a week. That's 15 classes a week and 4 weeks a month. That's already 60 classes. So that would already put you at the requirement to meet that finished classes incentive and get the extra dollar. Let's say you worked, let's say you could only teach 2 classes every morning. That's 1 hour a day. That's all. Well, actually 50 minutes if you think about each class is 25 minutes. Let's say you did 2 a day, 5 days a week. ooh, that puts you at 40. But in my opinion, you need to find a way to squeeze in those extra 5 classes. It can be maybe you do 3 classes for a couple of mornings, or maybe you work one weekend and you teach a quick 5 classes. Yeah, it's really not much. And that calculation was based on working 1 hour on weekday mornings. So it's really a minimal requirement. And, if you're not going to teach at least 45 classes a month doing this, I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. That's how I feel. So, yeah. Okay, so after you factor in the base rate and the finished classes incentive and the participation incentive, my average pay winds up being approximately $20 an hour. I've been doing this for a year. I always take my ending pay and divide it by how many hours I worked, and it's always right around the same, anywhere from $19 to $20 to $21 an hour. So I hope that gives you a more realistic perspective of how much you would make if you choose to do VIPKid. But stop, that's not all. That's kind of like your bare minimum pay if you commit a part-time to full-time let me rewind. If you commit very part-time to full-time hours to this job, that's your bare minimum. And in my opinion, it's still pretty good to have a lot of fun with these kids, and no lesson planning, no grading, no politics, no I don't know, none of the negative stuff that comes along with brick and mortar teaching. You don't have any of that. You get to have fun. You don't even have to leave your house. You are kind of in charge of your own virtual classroom as long as you follow their curriculum. And yeah, $20 an hour is not bad to come to my guest room and have fun teaching kids in China. Now, here's what I mean by that's the bare minimum. That's only the beginning. There's also other ways that you can increase your pay. So let's start with something called 24-hour notice bookings. I don't know if I said that right. What that means is when you do your scheduling in your teacher portal, there's a little box you can check by each time slot if you want. That basically means if I check this box, I agree to take a class and teach the class with less than 24 hours notice. Okay, now if you're brand new, that might be a little intimidating because you're not yet used to the curriculum, and you don't know it like the back of your hand yet, so that might be a little intimidating. But even if you are brand new, they'll never give you a class with less than 1 hour to prepare. So you can feel comfortable knowing that you're never going to have a class that's like 10 minutes, okay, you got to go teach. No, you always have at a very minimum 1 hour to prepare, and in most cases more than that. Okay, now this gives you an extra $2 per class. That adds up. I mean, $2 per 25-minute class, that would be an extra $4 an hour. Now the nice thing is, if you do decide to open 24-hour bookings, you're not obligated to teach those unless they book. So let's pretend that you had 5 open and maybe 2 of them booked. If you decide you want to go back in and close the ones that did not book because for some reason you don't want to teach anymore, that's fine. If the slot has not been booked, you can go in and close it, and then they can no longer give you that. Okay, another extra incentive is what's called the trial sign-up incentive. So in the beginning when you're new, you probably will teach a lot of trials. What that means is that student is considering joining VIPKid, but they have not yet signed up. They have not made the decision and paid. So they have 3 trial classes that they can take to see if they like it, get a feel for it. If you teach one of those trial classes and let's pretend they have a great experience and they really like you, you get paid a $5 bonus if they decide to sign up. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much, but they can really add up, number one. And number two, this is all on top of the 14 to 22 per hour, which I said mine usually is around 19 to 20 per hour. So this is all in addition to that. This is the extra stuff. Another thing I want to let you know is if you have a trial class booked and that student does not show up for class, what that means is, well, number one, you don't have to teach. You can sit there and do whatever you want while you wait. And number two, you're going to get paid only half pay for that class. So on one hand, it kind of sucks because you don't get the full pay. On the other hand, you're essentially getting paid something to sit there and browse the internet, look at your phone, do whatever you want to do while you wait. Now, I like to be really transparent and just really honest and say it like it is. When you're brand new and you don't yet have a follower base, you don't have regular students, your teacher profile is kind of blank, you don't have parent feedback, you don't have a big follower number, you really kind of have to take what you can get in the beginning. You have to build it up. And that's totally normal. Every VIPKid teacher does that. Sometimes people build it up really quickly. Other times people take a little more time, but that's okay. I personally, when I started, I only did VIPKid kind of on a full-time basis for 2 to 3 weeks. That's all. After that, I went to super part-time, and I mean 2 to 3 classes in the mornings before I went to work. So it wasn't much at all. It just takes some time to build your followers and build your parent feedback, and then once you do that, you kind of get the ball rolling. But in the beginning, you do have to be willing to take what you get. So it's completely normal to teach a lot of trials in the beginning. Here's the thing, okay? Some teachers, sign up for VIPKid, they go through the hiring process, they get hired, and then they have a bunch of trials in the beginning. They have trial after trial after trial after trial. And the reality is a lot of trials do not show up. So what happens is these new teachers get very discouraged and frustrated. They're getting only half pay because the trial didn't show up. They're sitting there ready to teach and then the kid's a no-show. And, this is just kind of one of the realities of starting teaching online, at least with VIPKid, and I'm pretty sure the other companies are the same way. That's just how you get started. It's kind of just, it's like paying your dues when you're new. So if that happens to you, I assure you, don't get discouraged. It's 100% normal. And if you keep at it and you keep doing your thing, I promise you, you will start to build your following and getting more major courses and getting a whole lot less trials, and it will become a lot more steady and stable income for you. I think for me in the beginning, I was just, I was teaching full time, so VIPKid was kind of just like my part-time fun thing I wanted to try. So I didn't really get that discouraged or negative because, I don't know, I was just so excited to teach these kids in China. I just thought it was so cool. So anytime I got a class, I just was happy about it. It is what it is. But I'm kind of getting off on a tangent now, so let's go back to the pay. Okay, the third way that you can make extra income is by referral income. So what this means is if you recruit your friends, family, other teachers at your school, actually, it doesn't even have to be teachers. It can be anyone with a bachelor's degree and, experience with kids, but that's a very vague term, like I've said in my other videos. It doesn't even have to be teachers. It can be anyone you know in your social circle or your family or just in your life in general, or someone you meet online that has a bachelor's degree. They can teach for VIPKid. It's an awesome side income. It's a good full-time income for many of us who do it full-time. And if you recruit someone and you kind of help them a little through the hiring process, because it can be a bit much, then once that person gets hired and they teach their first class, you will see a $100 bonus pop up on your payment tab. So, this is all about the way you want to look at it. I know some people are like, you get paid $100 because I got hired, But the way that I like to view it is when you're new in anything, whether it's VIPKid or any other job, it's kind of a foreign land to you, and you need someone to be your mentor. You need someone to be your sounding board. You need someone to answer those questions that come up that you're not sure about. This is an online job, so you're by yourself a lot of the time. So this $100, in my opinion, is a small price to pay for the company, for that referring teacher. I almost said referrer or referring teacher, to act as a mentor for you through the hiring process and also through your new days as a VIPKid teacher. When it comes to referrals, this is a bit of a sticky subject sometimes. There are a lot of VIPKid teachers I've heard who say that once they got hired, they never heard from their referring teacher ever again. I don't really view it that way personally, because when I was brand new, I had questions come up, just things I wasn't sure about. I'm doing this unit assessment and I don't know, I pushed this, but this happened, and what do I do? Just little stupid questions that come up. And it was so nice to be able to just get on my phone quick, text my referring teacher, Alexis. She would text me right back, and I would have the answer to my question. That really helped me. If it wasn't for her, I don't know, I probably would have been on the internet looking for the answer, or contacting VIPKid, or I don't know. I guess I just probably would have had a lot more anxiety about what the hell to do than I did. So I really appreciate that even though I got hired and Alexis got paid for me, her bonus, her $100 bonus, she still was available. So that first few months, as I was kind of adjusting and getting my feet wet and trying to kind of understand the format and the process and all of that, she was there, which was awesome. It helped me a whole bunch. So yeah, that's $100 referral bonus. And just a side note, if you decide that you want me to be your referring teacher, I would be more than happy to do that. I'm on my phone all the time. I'm up weird hours. You can contact me, text, call, email, Skype, but I'll go into that more a little bit later. Okay, and last but not least, that's not all yet. There are still other ways to make money within VIPKid. So here I have listed other opportunities for growth. There are other things that are available within the company to make yet again more money. So for example, if you say you teach with a VIPKid for a year or two, or somewhere in that period you have some experience, they may offer you, or you may inquire about being what's called an MCM, or a mock class mentor. Now, this position is kind of an added position that you can get with VIPKid if you're selected, where you make $24 an hour to essentially interview candidates during the hiring process. And what's nice is these hours are during the normal day. It doesn't have to be in the middle of the night, because you're talking to applicants who live in the United States. So yeah, that's another way to make money. $24 an hour and daytime hours, and really you just sign on and you go through their mock lesson with them and act like the child on the other end, and then you evaluate them and give them feedback. And then another way you can make money within the company is just about a year ago, they started something called Fast Pass events. And what that is, if you live in a major city in the United States and you have taught with VIPKid for at least 6 months, you can inquire about becoming a Fast Pass coach. So that is something that I also do. So what that means is 1 or 2 or 3 Saturdays a month, I go to a real live coaching event. They're short little events. They're about 3.5 to 4 hours. And myself and a few other VIPKid teachers, we basically we do a presentation about how to pass your mock class and get hired with VIPKid. And I get paid additional money to be a coach. So that's awesome. I have a lot of fun with these girls. It's pretty easy because once you get the flow of how the event works in the PowerPoint, um, yeah, it's awesome. So I get paid extra money for that as well, and I enjoy it. So I don't really look at it as work. I kind of look at it like, okay, I get to go hang out with my VIP Kid teacher friends today. Woohoo! Now those are just a few of the extra opportunities for additional income. But keep in mind, VIP Kid is a young company yet. They were founded in 2013. They're always growing and changing, and they're always coming out with new ways that they can create opportunities for teachers. I know there are some teachers on YouTube who are now brand ambassadors for VIP Kid, which is really cool. I don't know if they get compensated for it. I would imagine that they probably do. But yeah, the point is they're always coming out with new ways that you can get more involved and make more money. I really hope this video helped clear some things up. I know when they say 14 to 22 an hour, it's like, well, what is it? That's a huge gap. And then there's this incentive and that incentive and this bonus and that bonus and blah, 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 blah. It's too confusing. But I've been with the company for 1 year. I just signed my 3rd contract. And what I want to say is I have consistently made about $19 to $20 per hour. Well, actually per 50 minutes, since you do have a 5-minute break between classes. On a regular basis. That's been kind of my regular at a bare minimum, and that's not counting if I get these extra bonuses. So yeah, in my opinion, it's pretty good money for what we do, especially compared to the workload of a brick and mortar teacher. And I really hope this video helped to just clear it up for you. It can be really like, wait, what do I make? What is this? So yeah, I hope this helped. If you have any questions at all that I did not answer during this video, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer it as soon as I can. Or you're welcome to email me at vipkid.krista@gmail.com. I think that's it. I'll leave my email below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. It may be payment related or it may not. That's okay too. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video if you made it to the end. And if you would like me to be your referring teacher, if you're getting ready to apply for VIP Kid, I would be happy to do that. So I know I briefly touched on it, but what that means is if you successfully get hired and teach your first class, I get a $100 referral bonus, and in return for that, I act as your mentor as you go through both the hiring process and just being a new VIP Kid teacher. I would be available to you to answer questions, hear your concerns, your comments, anything like that, at least for the first few months of your teaching with VIP Kid. And that's kind of my way to pay it forward because that's what my referring teacher did for me, and I really appreciated it. So yeah, I don't really believe in the whole get paid and then drop off the face of the earth thing. I'm available to answer your questions or help you in any way that I can. If you do want me to be your referring teacher, feel free to click my referral link in the description below. That will take you to the application and that will make it so I'm your referring teacher. Or if you are applying just via the regular website, the normal link, my referral code is also below. There's a place where you can put that code in. Or if you've already applied and you're just kind of in the middle of the hiring process somewhere, that's okay. It's actually not too late. You can send an email to education@vipkid.com and you just say, I would like Krista Goodwin to be my referring teacher. Here is her referral code, and it's listed below. Let me give it to you 1 second real quick. It is 03LBEK. So you would send an email to education@vipkid.com, say I would like Krista Goodwin to be my referring teacher, and her code is 03LBEK, and they will go ahead and make me your referring teacher. So yeah, I would be happy to answer questions and help you along in the process. The interview and the hiring process with VIP Kid, it's kind of front loaded. It's a lot of work on the front end, but then once you get hired, it gets a lot easier with time. So don't worry. Okay, thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can search las dot vegas vegas dot teacher, and you will find my profile. Feel free to follow me. I'm active on there as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. I really hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time. Or as we say in the classroom, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.